people references, good historical knowledge. Okay, in the back row there. That's right. And if I were to hand you a piece of paper and say, could you give me your John Hancock? That's right, it means your signature. He wrote such a huge signature, he wanted the king to be able to see it. I mean, it was large. And you have to know what that means, you know, who that reference is to in order to make sense of a phrase like, give me your John Hancock. What? That's not knowledge that we stop to explain or, you know, let people know what the reference is. And that's the idea behind cultural literacy, that there are an awful lot of things out there beyond just the basics. So much of what gets attention in education these days is just making sure kids, you know, master the basics. Reading, writing, and arithmetic, if you will. And one of the key ideas to the core knowledge curriculum is that it takes more than that to be an educated, literate citizen in this day and age. And so core knowledge provides a very deep, rich, broad introduction to a lot of these topics that form the basis for what is knowledge taken for granted in everyday society. And so that's what cultural literacy is all about. There is a multicultural emphasis embedded in the teaching of these culturally literate ideas. And some of the things, if you look in your, I'm going to refer to several different pages of your handout. If you look on the back 2 pages with the gray and white stripes, I did mine in, well, mine, I have a color printer and you got the black and white photocopy. You will see major topic headings across the grades. One page has kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, and the back of that has 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. And you will see these major categories of language arts, English, history and geography, visual arts, music, mathematics, and science. And that's more than just our, you know, 4 core subjects that you'll typically encounter in school, math, science, language arts, and social studies. And so core knowledge is adding in a broader, what I would call, since I come from a university teaching environment, I would call this a liberal arts education for elementary students. And you can see that there is a lot of multicultural topics woven throughout. The music from different cultures, the visual arts. If you start in the kindergarten, I'm going to switch my pages here. At the kindergarten level, they start way back with some beginning ideas in art, and then they move through as they progress through the grades. My microphone is failing on me again. There we go. And they begin to go historically. I guess beginning with 3rd grade, they address American Indian art, art of ancient Rome and Byzantine civilization, art of Africa and China, the United States, art of the Middle Ages, Islamic art. And so a very multicultural focus across that strand and across the grades. Another S, there we go, I think. We're having technological difficulties here. Bear with us. Dwayne's my expert. We'll try a 3rd one. That one sounds live. Thank you, sir. Maybe it's me. Okay. All right. Another one of these S's, in addition to shared knowledge, is solid knowledge. They talk about, wow, maybe it's, I don't know. There we go. I'll try not to move the cord. One of the things that they talk about in your brochure is that so much, a big movement in education these days is to have, you know, in language arts, to use all the latest, you know, literature and stories and things that are up to date, things that reflect our current society. But cultural literacy involves a deep background understanding in things that have persisted across generations, understanding of historical events and peoples and literature and that sort of thing. And so you will also see, primarily in the language arts strand, I'm looking at the 3rd grade, they talk about Norse myths, Greek and Roman myths. They move on to the legends of King Arthur. They talk about Shakespeare. There's some Greek mythology. They also provide, part of the core knowledge curricular materials are some abridged, must be the cord, are some, wow. Let's try this. There we go. Hello? Okay. Some abridged or shortened literary classics that they read at the different grade levels to get the idea, to stay true to the content, but to introduce kids to these things that an educated person would know, and that lots of times is referred to, in everyday conversation, the news, or things you would read, or that sort of thing. And so rather than just trying to always reflect what's the latest and newest in information or applications, they are focusing on things that have been around for a long time. That'd be good, Dwayne. Then my moving around won't shake the connection so much. Thank you. All right, he'll have me tamed in just a moment. Another S that describes the core knowledge curriculum is sequenced. And you'll notice, again, if you look at these 2 pages, the overview from grade level to grade level, if you read across any one strand, how it builds, how they go, sometimes in chronological order, how they are going deeper and deeper each year. And they really believe that when you have a curriculum that is articulated in detail from beginning to end, when everybody knows what's going to be taught in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, wherever you fall, that there won't be any gaps or things left out. A lot of what we see in education today are fairly vague. What do you call those? Standards. And it'll specify students should have a greater appreciation for various cultures in the world, or of ancient civilizations or that sort of thing, without being specific enough so that an individual teacher, unless they're collaborating with others, may overlap with something that was done last year, or may not quite cover everything that goes up to where the next teacher is going to take place. And so with a very detailed curriculum, they not only can build year after year, but they will also make sure that each part is connected, that there's a continuity across grade levels. Lastly, and I've already addressed this a little bit, there is very specific information that is to be taught, and there is this guide that overviews the entire curriculum, and then there are grade level packages that not only the teachers will work from, but they're also available for parents. And one of the things they talk about in your handout, I'm certainly not going to cover everything that's written here, I'll leave that to you for your homework reading, but they talk about parents being on the same page as their students, so to speak, knowing what's going to be covered at a certain grade level, and either learning along with the student or reinforcing with the student at home what's being done in class. And so there are available, and it's mentioned in your handout, inside middle column, they give you a picture of a couple of the covers of these grade level books, what your first grader needs to know. This is something that would stand alone, even if you don't have a student at the Faulkner Academy, even if you don't know of anybody using the core knowledge curriculum. But those are out there, you know, for homeschooling families or whoever, even if you just want to enrich your, you know, child's learning. There is a very detailed and well-articulated set of information that they feel, research and consensus among people who have investigated